So, the deficiency analysis, that is the very first lesson with the learner, and it is followed after the needs analysis, which customer service does with the learner, and then they send you the learner profile with the schedule for the first lesson. So here is an example of a learner profile. And ideally you would have already used it to create the learner's training program. Or if you haven't created the program, then you at least have an idea of what to include in the learner's training program, so you can discuss it with the learner during the deficiency analysis. So I suggest that you download this, because you will need it later, and you can just minimize it for now. Then I suggest we go to Google Drive and find the step-by-step guide. For deficiency analysis, I suggest that you read this in your own time, because it has helpful information such as the DAs, the actual lesson, should only go for 15 to 20 minutes, even though it is scheduled for 45 minutes. That's because there's a lot of administration work that the learner is still charged for. For example, the needs analysis with customer service, and your time for creating the training program and finalizing the learner profile. But here, what is really important is this document, because you will need it for every deficiency analysis that you do. So I recommend downloading it and saving a hard copy somewhere on your desktop that is easy access. But for now, we can just minimize that as well. So to prepare for the lesson, set your Gtalk status to lesson, Skype to do not disturb, make sure your recorder is on as it says here, and then we can go to your LMS on the home page. You can click on Needs Assessment, and then it will take you to the learner's training page. Then you can start the lesson as usual, but again today it's not working, but the meeting room will just open in another window, and here it is. And as usual, you need the lesson notes. The lesson notes are already here, so I will just delete them. Like that, so that we can prepare for these lesson notes. Okay, so to prepare for the lesson notes, materials, .doc for OpenOffice and Word 97, .docx for Word 2010. So .doc, open. And as usual, you should fill out the lesson notes as you go through the lesson. And you can get a lot of information for the lesson notes from the learner profile. So there are the lesson notes. Learner company as usual. You need to use English in. You can get that information from here. You can just copy and paste, make it look presentable, maybe with bullet points, and correct any spelling. But as you go through the lesson notes, you will see you can get a lot of the information here from the learner profile. And then during the lesson, you will see that the learner has a choice: role play, describing pictures, or question and answer. As you work through the lesson with the learner, you need to write their answers word for word in the deficiency analysis. So as you can see here, it starts with needs analysis, but you need to scroll down to deficiency analysis and then choose, go to the correct topic. So let's say the learner chooses describing pictures. You can skip ahead to describing pictures by clicking on this sidebar, show sidebar. Skip ahead to describing pictures, and there you go. You'll see questions come up, and you need to write the learner's answers in describing pictures word for word. As you go through, write the answers word for word in here. Do not feel like you have to ask all the questions. You only need to ask enough to get a good understanding of the learner's level. Once you have that, you can skip ahead to the feedback section because that's very important, to give the learner feedback about their abilities, necessities, and their training program. So that's why it's important to design the training program, or at least have an idea of the training program before the deficiency analysis lesson. So that's when it would normally not be all red. It would normally look like this. And that's when you talk about what you have in their training program for them and confirm what you have in there is good for them. So at the end of the lesson, you need to copy the entire box of whichever option they did. So either role play or describing pictures or Q&A. So this learner did describing pictures. Click the little box here, copy, and paste into the profile you received from customer service. If you remember this from the beginning. Go to the end, paste it here. Then save it. Save it somewhere on your desktop or in a folder somewhere on your computer as the learner's profile. Save it as a PDF. Because you need to upload it to the learner's training program. So, don't need that, don't need that. Go back to the learner's training program. Materials, learner profile, upload material, search, find it and save. Then you need to do the same for lesson notes. Save them again as PDF. Somewhere, a folder on your computer. Gernot Krieger DA button file. Save it as PDF. And then upload that to the meeting room under lesson notes. Upload lesson note, search, find it on your computer. Yep. Oh, it just loaded from when I uploaded the profile, so I'll do that again. Search, Gernot Krieger, I think I'm blind. Anyway, desktop, HBI, lesson notes, there, and save. And then you need to finally do that for the Skype recording. So you need to change the name of the Skype recording. So go to the folder on your desktop. Your name, the year, learner's name, and upload that under recording. And save. Okay, and then you can do the usual end meeting, click OK twice, and complete lesson.